Hello students, this is Harveer, your English teacher of class 10th. Students, today we are going to discuss part 2 of the chapter Madam Rides the Bus from your book First Flight. So in part 1, we saw how Wali was sitting in the bus and then she stood up to see the sights outside. After some time, she was asked to sit, and then an ugly looking lady came and sat next to her. So let's see what happened next. Her first journey was careful, painstaking, elaborate plans she had to make for it. This was her first journey, and she had to plan very carefully. What was the plan she made? She had to collect the money, she had to see the time, she had to find out the details about travel, that is, the time and how much it cost, all these. So, these were the plans that she had made. She had thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermints, toys, balloons, and the like. And finally, she had saved a total 60 paise. She had thriftily here mean not to spend too much. Whatever money came to her way, she saved it. Many times she got extra money from her parents, maybe, and she did not spend them on buying sweets and toys and balloons, etc. Without spending on these items, she saved the money to have a bus ride, and finally, she had saved a total of 60 paise. So, by saving money, she was able to save 60 paise, 30 for going and 30 for coming back to her village. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair. But she had resolutely stifled a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round, even though she had the money. So, what happened? There was a village fair, and she was able to put away her desire to go on the merry-go-round. So, it's the game that children play by sitting on the stand-like thing, which goes round and round. So, she was able to put away that desire. She was able to overcome that desire, even though she had money. She saved her money for the bus ride. After she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. So once she finished saving the money, what was the next thing she had to do? She had to come out of her house without her mother's knowledge. So all these things were the part of her plan. And plan for what? Plan for bus ride. Resolutely mean with great determination. Stifled mean to feel suffocated because she wanted to go on the merry-go-round, but then she did not go. She was feeling suffocated. She was not able to fulfill her desire to go or to ride merry-go-round, but for her plan to succeed, she had to let it go. But she managed this without too much difficulty. Every day after lunch, or her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. Wali always used these hours for her excursions, as she stood looking from the doorway of her house, or sometimes even ventured out into the village. Today, these same hours could be used for her first excursion outside the village. Wali managed to resist the temptation of fair without much difficulty. So, what happened now? She needed to find a time when she can go out without her mother's knowledge. So, one thing is her mother would every day in the afternoon go to sleep. Nap mean a small sleep from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So, what did Wali do during this time? She used to stand at the doorway and watch the bus, and sometimes she also used to go into the village. And today, these same hours could be used for her first excursion outside the village, and she thought that this is the best time when she can slip out of the house and take her bus ride. So what is the meaning of excursion? Excursion here means tour, and the tour here is her bus ride. So these were the all things she was thinking about, how she made the money and plans, etc. So she seated inside the bus, and the bus was moving forward. The bus rolled on, now cutting across a bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet or past an odd wayside shop. So bus went through landscape and tiny hamlet. Hamlet here means a small village, and then there was an odd shop on the roadside. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming towards them or a pedestrian crossing the road. So, gobbling means like swelling. As the bus is moving forward, when the other vehicle is coming from the opposite direction, it looked or it seemed as if the bus was going to swallow the other vehicle or maybe a pedestrian. Pedestrian is the person who is walking by the side of the road. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all obstacles safely behind. Trees came running towards them, but then stopped as the bus reached them and simply stood there, helpless for a moment, by the side of the road before rushing away in other direction. But then this bus did not gobble any vehicle or other pedestrian. It was able to move forward smoothly without causing any damage to anything that was there in the front. So when Wally was sitting in the bus, she was also watching the trees that were there beside the road. It looked as if trees were running and coming towards them, but as the bus come close to that spot, the trees would be like as stopping there for some time and then moving back to the opposite direction. Suddenly, Wally clapped her hands with glee. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running very fast right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. So she was feeling so glee mean happiness. She started clapping her hands. So what made her this happy? She saw a young cow coming and running towards the bus. Its tail was up and it was coming fast towards the bus. It was just in front of the bus. The bus slowed to a crawl and the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again. But the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became and the faster it galloped, always right in front of the bus. The bus slowed to a crawl, mean the bus slowed down. Then what did the driver do? He sounded the horns so that the cow would hear it and move aside. But what happened? It was a small cow. It was getting confused about which way to go. And so it is becoming frightened also. It is the only so it is only running faster and it was coming in front of the bus. Somehow this was very funny to Wally. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. So looking at this cow, Wally felt like laughing. She was laughing so much that tears started coming out of her eyes. "Hey lady, haven't you laughed enough?" called the conductor. "Better save some for tomorrow." So the conductor calls her, "Hey lady," and asked her, "Did you have a hearty laughter?" So the conductor, he was jolly kind of person and he was very friendly. So he just told Wally, "Enough laughing for today. The rest she could laugh for tomorrow." At last, the cow moved off the road, and soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. A speck of a train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew near. Then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. So the cow moved off, and next is the railroad crossing. So there was a railway crossing, and the people who were sitting in the bus, they could see small dot of the train approaching from far away. And the train was approaching. They had to wait for the train to pass. So when the train passed, the whole bus was shaking and rattling, and there was loud noise as well. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. So then the bus moved on, and after that it passed the railway station. From there it traversed a busy, well laid out shopping street and, turning, entered a wider thoroughfare. Such big, bright looking shops, what glittering displays of clothes and other merchandise, such big crowd. So, what happened after the railway station? The bus went on and it had to traversed. Traversed here mean cross. So it had to cross a busy shopping street, and then after that it turned a little bit. Then it had to enter a thoroughfare. And what is this thoroughfare? Thoroughfare is the main road that is separating two places. So there were big shops and they were nicely lit up. Many things were there in the shops, colorful items, clothes, etc. And Wali was looking at all these merchandise. Merchandise means the other material that people sell in the shops. Struck dumb with wonder, Wally gaped at everything. So there were so many people in all these shops. Wally was dumbstruck, means surprised by looking at all these shops and people there. And then she just gaped at everything. Gaping means she was opening her mouth with wonder and looking at everything. And then the bus came to a halt. All got down except Wally. Hey lady, said the conductor, aren't you ready to get off? This is as far as your 30 paise takes you. No, Wally said, I'm going back on the same bus. She took another 30 paise from her pocket and handed the coins to the conductor. So the conductor asked this Wally whether she was not getting down, after all people getting down. He asked her because she was only one remaining in the bus. So he asked her if she wanted to get down. So the conductor told Wali that she have given him 30 paise and this is what she could travel for 30 paise. Immediately she replied, no, she wanted to go back on the same bus. She had 30 paise more. She took it out from her pocket and she gave it to the conductor. Why? Is something the matter? No, nothing's the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride, that's all. Don't you want to have a look at the sights now that you are here? So, conductor asked her why she wanted to go back. Is there any problem? So, she replied no, she had no problem, and she told him that she just wanted to take a bus ride. Conductor asked her, didn't she want to have a look at the sights? All by myself? Oh, I would be much too afraid. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said, but you were not afraid to come in the bus? Nothing to be afraid of about that, she answered. So, what did Wally say? She said that how could she go alone? She was frightened. So, the conductor was thinking, this girl is so bold to come in the bus. Why didn't she look around? So, he asked her, came all alone in the bus and now saying that she was afraid. Then she said that she was not afraid of anything. Well, then, why not go to that stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of that either. Oh no, I could not do that. Well, then, let me bring you a cold drink. Then she said she was not afraid of anything, as I told you. Then the conductor asked him, why don't she go to the stall and a stall mean a small shop and have some drink? So he told her not to be afraid of that also. When she said she was not afraid of anything, then the conductor asked him, why don't she go to the stall? Mean a small shop and have some drink. So he told her not to be afraid of that also. So she replied she did not want to go and have drink. So conductor told that then he would bring cold drink for her in the bus. No, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket, that's all. It'll be my treat and not cost you anything. No, no, she said firmly. Please no. The conductor shrugged and they waited until it was time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again, there were not many passengers. So when the conductor asked her that he would bring the drink for her, the cold drink for her in the bus, she replied that she did not have that much money and told conductor to just give her the ticket. So conductor told her now not to worry about the money and to think it as a treat from his side. Then Wally just refused and said she did not want to have the drink. So the conductor said okay, and then they just waited for other passengers to come so that the bus could go back. There were not many passengers at this time as well. Won't your mother be looking for you? And the conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. No, no, no one will be looking for me, she said. The bus started and again there were the same wonderful sights. So, conductor, while giving her a ticket, asked her whether her mother was looking for her or not, as she was all alone in the bus. So she said, no, nobody would be looking for her. So the bus journey started again, and she could see the same sights that she saw while she was coming to the town. Wally was not bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicle. But then also she was enjoying everything, though she had seen all these things before as well, and she was enjoying all these sights again. But then suddenly, what happened? She saw a young cow lying dead, and maybe it was hit by a vehicle. Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on a trip to town? She asked the conductor. So Wali asked the conductor whether it was the same cow that they saw while going to the town. The conductor nodded, and she was overcome with sadness. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago had now suddenly lost its charm and its life and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread eagled, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over. So, when she asked the conductor that if it was the same cow, the conductor said yes. She was feeling very sad because the cow she had seen running was lying dead now. So she was feeling very sad by looking at the cow because it was running happily in the beginning, but now it is dead and its eyes are just opened and the blood was just flowing all over. Legs were spread and she became very sad by looking at that sight. The bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her, dampening her enthusiasm. She no longer wanted to look out of the window. So, the thinking of the dead cow made her more and more frightening, and she lost all the enthusiasm that she had in the beginning. Now, she did not want to enjoy the sights by looking outside. She sat thus glued to her seat until the bus reached her village at 3:40. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again." "Okay, madam," he answered, her smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us and don't forget to bring your fare." So now she was just glued as if stuck to the seat. She just sat at the seat quietly till the bus reached to her village. When it was the time to get down, she got up and stretched herself and told the conductor that she hoped she would see him again. So the conductor said okay by smiling at her and told her whenever she would feel like riding the bus, she could come and have it, and reminded her to bring her fare as well. Fare means the cost or the money for the ticket. She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for her home. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Wali's aunts, that one from the south street. This aunt was a real chatterbox, never closing her mouth once she started talking. And she got down from the bus laughingly. Then she ran back to her home. She saw her mother inside, who had already woken up and talking to her aunt, who was from the south street. So, this woman, the aunt, was a chatterbox. What is chatterbox? One who keeps on talking. So, this lady was also a chatterbox and she never closed her mouth. "And where have you been?" said her aunt when Wali came in. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply, so Wali just smiled and her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. So her aunt asked her where was she so long. So Wali just smiled and her mother and aunt went on talking. So the way her aunt asked Wali understood that she was only asking her a question in a casual manner and she did not expect a reply. So Wali kept quiet and just went in, and the two ladies carried on with their conversation. "Yes, you are right," her mother said. "So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything?" And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely, can we? Oh, yes, breathed Wali. What? Asked her mother. What's that you say? Oh, said Wali, I was just agreeing with what you said about things happening without a knowledge. So, both of them were talking about something and they just continued with their talk. So the ladies were talking and they were telling that they were not able to understand things happening around them. And Wali also just joined in and said, oh, yes. So immediately, when she assured her mother, asked, what was she trying to say? So Wali said that nothing. She was just agreeing with whatever they both were talking, that so many things happened around us and they happened without our knowledge. So here what actually happened was Wali had gone out of the house and came back, and this all happened without the knowledge of the ladies sitting in the house. Just a chit of girl she is, said her aunt, and yet look how she pokes her nose into her conversation, just as though she were a grown lady. So her aunt immediately made a comment that she was a chit of girl. What's a chit of girl? It means somebody who is very immature. And she also made a comment that how Wali was poking her nose mean how she was interfering in their conversation, and gave her opinion like a grown up lady. Wali smiled to herself. She did not want them to understand her smile. So Wali smiled because she had done something without their knowledge, and so that was in her mind, and she smiled to herself. But then there was not much chance of that, was there? But then, so she was just thinking in her mind that there was no possibility of these two ladies to understand what she had done. So she smiled at herself. So we came to know so many things about Wali. She is an intelligent girl, she is very sensitive, clever, self respecting, and also a courageous girl. So it was all there in this chapter. Thank you.